Happy Monday, everybody. It's Mr. G with you, of course, again. Week 5 has begun. That's right, we are in the home stretch. 2 weeks left here, this week and next, and then it's summertime officially. So we are, of course, going into the last two topics that we covered during the school year here in these last 2 weeks of our time in our continued education. And this week, it's all geometry. Now, geometry, for those who don't remember, kind of a quick run through for you. We talked a lot about lines, angles, and their relationships to each other. So first thing I want to bring up and remind you is about the angles. When it comes to angles, you have complementary pairing and supplementary pairing. When you're talking about the complementary pairing, you're talking about those that together equal a total of 90 degrees. Supplementary is the ones that when they're together equal 180 degrees. They can be adjacent or they can be separate. That doesn't matter. But those are the two types of angle relationships with pairs that are important to the lessons you're going to do in Study Island and Pearson this week. Yes, I'm sorry. We have Pearson back again this week. So you have lessons in Study Island and in Pearson to take care of for your geometry assignments this week. Also talking about angles, the important stuff to remember, vertical angles. Now when we talked about vertical angles, we talked about those when you have two lines that intersect, you're creating that single point where you have a bunch of different angles going around. The vertical ones are the ones that are opposite one another, so like a top and a bottom or a side and a side. Just because they're called vertical doesn't mean they have to be vertical to each other. They also can be next to each other. Vertical just simply means that they are the same measure when they are related through that intersection. Also important to know when it comes to the study islands, the angles and triangles. Remember, every triangle, no matter what the look of it, every triangle, when you add up all the interior angles together, has to equal 180 degrees. No matter what the triangle looks like, every interior angle, when added together, will equal 180. Okay? Those are the two important pieces I wanted to bring up when it came to the angles. By in pieces, I mean the boards. And then the other stuff when it comes to geometry were, of course, the area stuff. Area comes down to the two formulas that you are learning, or have learned, I should say. The first one was when it came to rectangles and parallelograms. Simply talking about base times height, side times side. And that's right. Of course, that also applies to squares, but since all their sides are the same measure, it's just side times side, or side squared. So, base times height, that involved parallelograms as well as rectangles. Also, we had triangles. Now remember, triangles when finding the area is half of a four-sided shape, so it is base times height cut in half. Looks two different ways, been solving it the same way. Base times height times 1/2, or base times height divided by 2. Both of those formulas will give you the same answer. Don't forget notation. Obviously, you're going to have the little 2 on your unit of measure for the squared when it comes to area. Quick run through this week, but don't forget, we are down to the last 2 weeks. Your week 6 is actually going to start Wednesday of this week. I will have another video Wednesday talking about week 6, just so you have a little extra time to go through algebra. I know. It'll be all right. Hope you're having a good time getting through the stuff. I appreciate all you that are doing the hard work. Don't forget your journals. You have that opportunity to get that journal grade in. This Friday is the deadline for that, so make sure you get a picture of your contract and your table of contents. If you don't have your contract still, get with me through messaging me by either email or whatever, remind, and we will figure something else out. But you need to get those pictures to me. Most of you that are working on your work have gotten those to me, and that's great. That's going to help your grade. So those are important grades if you can get that journal proof to me before this Friday. Have a great week. I'll be back with you talking about algebra on Wednesday. Be good.